Welcome to Panther Games. If you're listening on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, links are in the bio below.
Feel free to leave a review and let us know what you guys thought, and if there's any ways we can improve, or if there's anything you guys just want to hear more of. Enjoy the episode, guys.
Thanks. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pandtha Talks. This is episode 15,
We're getting worse at this.
We are horrific at remembering.
We're meant to get better, but we're getting worse. It's episode 15.
Yes, episode 15. Cool. Right, we're not that bad. I was right. I'm just very bad at remembering. So, literally today, Dead Island 2 finally released. After over 10 years of waiting to hear anything, in the last month, suddenly information. Honestly, one of the weirdest marketing tactics I've ever heard of, but you know what? I'm happy for it. And I own the game. I installed it. I installed it overnight last night, and I've just launched it before the podcast today. Started watching like the intro and everything, got to the tutorial stage. All looks really nice, the game's stunning, and it seems pretty fun. Bad news, I can't play yet. Because for some reason, the controls are bound to, instead of looking around with my mouse, I'm looking around with arrow keys. So...
Yeah, not great.
No. I've kind of had to report that to the website to hope and pray that we get some information back and I'm able to resolve that pretty quick, but I've not got much hope at the moment. I'm just kind of dreading it and waiting.
Unfortunately, I feel like you may end up waiting quite a while.
Sadly so, yeah.
What you want for a brand new release too? Not a good
No.
one, from the looks of it anyway.
It looks like it's going to be great fun, but I also have some reviews to discuss today about that game.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But anyways, shall we get right into it?
Let's get into it.
Sounds good. Right, I will do what I usually do and just share these screens. There we go. So, first review from The Telegraph, of all places. Fucking dreadful place. Dead Island 2 review. Much delayed zombie slasher sequel is a gonzo, gore-soaked gaming guilty pleasure. Which, as we were discussing a while ago when the trailer came out about information of the flesh system, and that extra article was released about it as well, that's what it looked like. It's what everyone wants from a zombie game.
Yep.
A decade is a long time in video games, so you could be more than forgiven for having forgotten about Dead Island 2 since it debuted at E3 way back in 2014. In the intervening years, this sequel to 2011's Gonzo first-person zombie slasher has passed through 4 different development studios, missed an entire hardware generation, and even outlived the industry event at which it debuted. It couldn't have been reanimated at a better time, though. The franchise's premise of immune individuals battling to survive a disease-induced zombie apocalypse is now bang on trend. Although, if The Last of Us represents that paradigm's dramatic high watermark, then Dead Island 2 is more like an end-of-the-pier review. Little dated, unrepentantly puerile, and played largely, and sometimes even successfully, for laughs. What I had heard about the game, and what I'll state of what I know so far, is that it is quite the comedic release. As well as having basically some really good fun combat, it is basically just fun. Just taking the piss, having a laugh, and just enjoying the game itself. Which in recent time kind of feels like what we've lost in gaming, I do have to say.
Yep, we've discussed that before in other episodes about how we felt about that.
Oh, 100%. The game opens with you and up to 3 co-op pals picking one of half a dozen cartoonish characters who are stranded in an undead, ravaged slice of Los Angeles.
Hang on a second.
What's up?
They say up to 3 co-op pals. Does that not mean then it's 4-player?
It seems to say that, even
When we
though...
watched the intro, they were saying it was going to be 3 players, which is really
Yeah.
strange. So unless they worded it wrong or badly or something, maybe maybe we took it wrong, heard it wrong.
That's
But it
something that
felt
we'll
like
have
they
to look
said it was
into.
going to be 3, only maximum 3 players in the game at once. Whereas this is saying if you and up to 3 co-op pals,
Yeah,
sounds like 4 players.
it definitely does. And I do recall what you're on about with that. And if
Yeah.
that is the case, if I've managed to get my game workable by next week, I will update on that. But that is something definitely to pay attention to. Uh,
4 sounds more normal for co-op as well when you're
oh,
playing with
100%.
friends.
To be honest, I'm quite surprised they didn't do up to 6, considering there's 6 different characters.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a bit chaotic though, trying to
Oh,
have
100%.
the game like play well for 6 people.
Be
Imagine
interesting.
the one random zombie just casually walking down a dark alleyway, just gets jumped by 6 players.
That flesh system wouldn't be doing its fucking overtime in that point. Jesus.
You wouldn't get to see it happen, dude. It would get ripped to shreds.
Just a pile of flesh and bone on the ground. Yay!
They all have all their upgrades and they just like slam attacks from above or whatever might exist for that sort of thing. They all do that at the same time. The zombie just gets pulverized.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I was quite tempted to choose the Irish woman for my character, but I decided against it and went with the
Right,
woman with...
enough of that slander.
No, I went with the woman with the... Basically, she's got one leg and the other's the, like... I don't know what to call it, the running prosthetic?
Oh, I know what you're on about. Yeah,
Yeah. As in the first game, you'll mostly be fighting with a wide variety of improvised melee weapons to be found literally lying about the place. Throwable curveballs such as nail bombs and ninja stars come with surprisingly restrictive countdowns, as while guns start dropping around a third of the way into the game, combat has very much been designed with getting up close and personal in mind. I mean, personally, it's Dead Island. If you're not playing with melee weapons, you're doing it wrong. It's just the truth of it. Instead, the main innovation here is the introduction of environmental elemental effects. I feel like Riptide did that. Weapons can be modified at workbenches to add electrical, fire, or biological damage, but the twist is how these now interact with your surroundings. Jerry cans filled with water or fuel allow you to create elaborate death runs to fry or flambe the zombie hordes, respectively, while acid clouds can prove lethal in conjunction with a well-lobbed lure. I'm English, I should be able to say lobbed. Bloody hell.
yeah.
Factor in the slightly clunky control scheme and it makes for a superbly slapstick slaughter, with stray swings of a flame-fueled machete turning a minor oil spillage into an unexpectedly explosive barbecue. Gotta say, oh yeah, that's the character I'm playing. I only know because of the leg, but yeah. That sort of shit just looks so cool, though.
Yeah.
I really hope we get to see that sort of stuff more.
I've seen so many individual bits of glass break down as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just like a couple large chunks and what seems like 80% of it missing.
I'm just basically quickly having a look over it, but there wasn't too much really said in this bit. Other than basically it's just let's see, loosely connected locations ranging from the upmarket mansions of Bel Air and Beverly Hills to the sun-baked boardwalks of Venice Beach and Santa Monica Pier may boast impressively detailed art direction, but they're ultimately little more than decorative sandboxes designed to facilitate mass mutilation and mayhem. Discovering ever more innovative ways to dismember the undead is pretty much the only game in town. There's precious little else here to suggest that Dead Island 2's 9 years spent in development hell saw too much actual development going on. The half-finished, frequently incoherent plot and tired campaign structure could arguably have done with even more time in the oven. Even more remarkably, the final third of the game still manages to feel like a last-minute rush job padded out by some tedious tunnel-based sequences before an eye-rollingly anticlimactic denouncement sets up another game to come, presumably due sometime in the second half of the century. For fuck's sake. And yet, for all of its many shortcomings, there's something supremely playable, compulsively even, about Dead Island 2's core combat loop. A neat card-based skill system at least allows you to tweak your character's damage output according to a preferred playstyle. Rewarding chain kills or avoiding taking damage, for example, and a generous block and counter window ensures your even moderately skilled players can feel like superheroes when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds. I'll be honest, this is pretty much what most people were expecting. I can believe 100% that the story is probably not up to scratch, and I am kind of sad to hear that, but even in the trailers, they weren't really talking much about a story. And if Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide or anything to go by, story wasn't really what you played those games for. It was for mindless slaughter.
That stretched out the development the game is as well. It'd be kind of hard to sort of keep it on par.
Yeah, especially with the amount of studios.
With how much effort they put into the combat system, especially the the flesh system.
Yeah.
It's I think it's gonna make up for it.
Oh, 100%. I'd agree with that. And if they do create another game, they've got the systems there now.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anything like severely major. But honestly, that review that we just read pretty much speaks to what most people have got to say.
Yeah.
The only other thing that these will really add, as sad as it is to say, is the guns are not great. Apparently gunplay isn't fantastic. But, as I said earlier, if you're playing Dead Island with guns, you're not playing Dead Island correctly.
Yeah, so, as much as it's like melee based though, sometimes you do just want to whip out a gun and just tap as you run through.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, in like situations like this where you just need to shoot a bloody container, makes sense. Because then you're dealing with like loads at once. Nice and easy, simplistic. Best way to do it. But I thought I'd just quickly come on and show you the Metacritics. Because Metacritic actually has rated this game so far at a 75. Which ain't too bad. It's pretty decent. But we gotta wait until tomorrow at 12 PM PST to start seeing user reviews. And that's when I think it'll get interesting.
Talk about how it's saying there's a number of players up to 8.
Yeah, I just saw that myself.
What is going on?
I don't know.
How many people are allowed to play this game at once?
I will come back. Well, I'll probably tell you earlier in the week, but I'll come back to the podcast next week with an answer. We'll get a solid answer on this. But yeah, Dead Island 2 is out. If you just want some mindless fun, I'd say get it. I'll come back with a conclusive answer as to whether it's good or not next week, but we'll get there.
From the sounds of it and from the history of it, if you're looking for a storyline, maybe don't go this way.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong, the storylines weren't bad.
If you're looking to slaughter some undead and waste hours of time in mindless fun and just watching bits of zombies fly left, right, and center, then by all means, get this game.
Yeah. And if you've got friends to get it with, 100% do that, because any game is better with friends.
Play some baseball with the zombie head.
Yeah. See how far you can get, see if you can get a home run or not. Right. I have another 2 topics before we get to discuss something that happened last week.
Alright.
So, next topic. Global survey sheds light on video gaming media trends. Now, this is apparently a YouGov report that's answered these questions. But the subline here is, tagline. How many women play games on their phones? Which country is the most addicted to gaming? Those are the questions, eh?
These are the questions we're asking?
Apparently.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's get one thing set straight. We all know gamer girls don't exist. They've always been a myth since the start of gaming.
A myth and a legend. If you want to prove us wrong, please leave a comment to say otherwise. But we'll see if these mythical creatures exist.
Yeah, this will be an interesting clip to make for the TikTok. The 2 questions, and then people answering these 2 questions to see if their statistics are correct.
Yeah, we'll check the statistics against actual people online. That's a good idea. Some internet users are glued to their smartphones to scroll social networks. That's not some internet users, that's pretty much every internet user.
Yeah, at least 98%.
Yeah. Others use them to play games.
Me, 'cause that's all I do.
On your smartphone.
Well, I've sort of got a tablet for that now because it's kind of annoying on your phone, but
Oh, 100%.
Mostly PC.
Yeah,
and when I'm on my PC, I don't even look down social media, dude. I'm just constantly gaming.
Yeah, exactly. This is especially the case for women, apparently, who outnumber men when it comes to gaming on their phones.
Because we're doing the hardcore stuff, bro. We're killing the zombies on our PC.
Well, there's actually a really simple answer for that reason. It's because while most guys are very happy to be identified as gamers or whatever else, a lot of women don't really like that, really, the negative stereotype that comes with that. And it's been documented quite well online about how bad it can be portrayed. We all know it, we all know the stereotypes. But because a lot more guys are like willing to, and a lot of blokes, to be honest, really enjoy just playing games. And it's less of something that a lot of females really do. Some do, yeah, 100%. They are out there. I know that's contrary to the joke we were just making, but yeah, this is my honest opinion. They are out there.
Was a joke.
Yeah, no sexism here. They are there, out there. That is just the truth of it. But they are less frequent than men that play games. And a lot of people that, as it says, women who are on the smartphones. Well, think about it like this. Even though it is a stereotype, I do have to acknowledge that first and foremost. Even though it's a stereotype, quite a few women still do work and basically look after the kids, and in the free time, they'll just scroll through social media. With all the advertisements nowadays for mobile games that are constantly on your phone, you don't really have to do anything else. You just click an advert and off you go download from the Play Store or the Apple Store. Download, and then you've got something to do with your off time when you just sat down with and bored out of your mind. If you go into appointments with kids, so on and so forth, this is the sort of thing and why a lot more women would probably do that. as much as it is a stereotype, as I said, it is also something that holds to some degree of truth. What would you say on that one, Will?
Sorry, I had my friend messaging me because he's complaining that we are recording and that I don't care about him.
Is that what I think it is?
Yes.
Oh dear.
But no, you're completely right about the odds. Like, it's far too easy these days. Like, they're shoved in your face now, like on a constant basis. You just can't really escape from them. So it is very easy just to click on an ad for a mobile game and start playing it.
Yeah, and with the fact that there's no price to it for most of them.
Yeah, until you hit the microtransactions.
Yeah, that's what gets most of the bloody payments, though.
Yeah, but
7. Oh, you okay?
but yeah, I mean, you never know who is playing the games. You know.
Oh, 100%. 7 in 10 women say they play games on their smartphones, according to the YouGov Gaming and Esports Report 2023, conducted among more than 19,000 respondents across 18 different countries, including China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Indonesia, and Australia. It said some 71% of women play games on their smartphones compared to 59% of men. Women gamers are also more comfortable on their tablet at 26% compared with 21% of men. Kind of goes back to that once again. And if women are like more likely to play games, or if they've got a tablet for Netflix, for example, when they're out and about, of course they're probably going to have a game installed on there. Something to do when you're not doing anything. It's always nice, and the bigger screen's always better. Still, men outnumber women when it comes to computer-based gaming. 46% versus 32%, and console gaming 40% to 26%. They're also most likely to use PCs designed specifically for gaming, 14% to 6%. Can't believe only 14% of men actually use. Wait, so that's 20% in total using a PC dedicated to gaming. Crazy odds. Among the 12 media activities mentioned by the survey, playing video games, whether on a console, PC, or smartphone, is the most cited activity for 31% of respondents, ahead of listening to podcasts, 18%, and watching live streaming video services at 25%. Far ahead, 64% of the panel cited visiting websites in a general sense, 57% social media usage, and 48% watching streaming content. Which once again goes back to our debate from last week about only 25%. Wait, no, sorry. Yeah, only 31% are on video games, whereas 64% just visit random websites, 57 are on social media, and 48 watching streaming content. It's kind of mad. In the gaming world, mobile games have become an important market, and the phone stands out as the most popular device among gamers. Kind of sad to think about, to be honest.
Yeah, but to be honest, mobile games aren't really games.
It's an argument we've all made at some point.
It's buy your way through this app simulator.
Yep. How much money can you give us? Tally started.
Like, a lot of them aren't even games. You literally just give them money to unlock this.
Yep.
And then you sit and look at it.
Pretty much. According to the study, 64% of gamers cite their smartphone as the device most used to play, followed by computers 40%, consoles 34%, and tablets at 23%. That's interesting.
I'm no A-star student here, but those numbers don't add up.
40, 34, so that's...
But where's the 64% of smartphone gamers come
Yeah,
from as well?
the numbers do not add up now, you're right. We're missing some information there.
Well, if anything, we actually have too much information, theoretically.
Yeah. Plus, the smartphone is favoured by gamers of all ages. Even 45 to 54-year-olds lead the way, followed by 35 to 44-year-olds and 18 to 24-year-olds. Younger people are more likely to play video games on a computer, which goes back to that stereotype which I was on about earlier. As for the older generation, tablets make it easier for them to read and interact on screen content. As such, global consumers over the age of 55 are more likely to use them for gaming than those in other age groups. Gamers in China are most addicted.
In fairness, have you seen like how unbelievably competitive the Chinese are?
Oh yeah, but did
Like,
you
it
know?
is nuts.
Do you know about their bloody law that's been put in place?
I think I heard about it, but I've already forgotten it.
Basically, where is it? China on Monday introduced new rules that limit the amount of time under 18s can spend on video games to 3 hours a week. A move it said it was necessary to combat gaming addiction, which we discussed last week.
They just don't sleep.
When it comes to the breakdown of video games by gamers by location, the report suggests China is home to the most addicted gamers who spend more than 11 hours average on playing on average. Asked which three activities would you say you spend the most time on each week?
Wait. You spend more than 11 hours playing on average. 11 hours of what? A day? A week?
Yeah,
A month?
that's the question.
Do they play 11 hours in the space of an hour? I don't understand.
Yeah. Which three activities would you say you spend the most time on each week? 29% of Chinese answered video games compared to 14% of the global total. The next highest percentage of adults who play video games were found in Hong Kong. That's China, okay. Wait, no, is it? I need to check that. Yeah, it is. South China. Found in Hong Kong, Indonesia, and Singapore. China is also the country where gamers play for the greatest number of hours each week, 11.3 hours.
What? Huh?
Sorry, just 1 second here. So this is
11
my
hours a
Steam
week.
profile. But let me just scroll down a little here. And yeah, that's me on a really bad week.
Rory. That's nothing, bro.
I know, I'm horrific for it. I hate myself. It's usually in the 50s.
Okay, right. To begin with, when I play Rust, I have over 200 hours in 2 weeks.
Yeah, actually. Let me go to your profile.
Currently, I have 195 hours played in the last 2 weeks.
Right. I've got to do it this way because I don't want to be randomly doxing any of my friends on Steam. Right. Just to get this point across.
I don't have a problem.
You have a massive problem. And those are the two games you got the problem with. So, 6 years of service? 11 years of service. Yet who has more time on bloody games?
God damn, you've exposed me.
Oh. As opposed with the world average of 8.9 hours a week.
Bro,
the US is also above average with 11 hours, followed by Britain with 10.2 hours. Britain, get your fucking number up.
Can we just nail down my exact address to see the average?
France is at 7.7 hours a week. I'm not surprised. It's the French. At the moment, they're too busy rioting to play games. Why did I say that? In terms of the of age, it's 18 to 24-year-olds that are the most addicted to video games. Just because we play these amount of hours does not mean we're addicted, right, Panda? Yeah, you can't comment at the moment, can you?
I have no statement to give at this current time.
Playing for 9.8 hours. How is that addiction? 9.8 hours a week. You spend more time
Nothing.
sleeping. Am I addicted to sleep? No, it's mandatory. But
I
still,
don't know.
you get the point.
I don't know. I don't know if I spend more time than that sleeping. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
True.
I'm too busy putting 200 hours into game.
No, but my point is, you spend longer a week at like school. You spend longer a week, probably
Bro, what do
most
you
people
mean?
do,
Two
on
two
social
days.
media.
2 days, and you spent like 50% longer in school, work, whatever you would have to do normally.
Oh yeah,
Like, if that's what you're putting in your free time to do, like, so what? There's nothing wrong with that.
oh, exactly.
Completely fine.
The 25 to 35-year-old spends an average of 9.1 hours each week gaming. That really does not sound like much to me.
No,
Ahead
it's
of
not.
the 35 to 44-year-olds who put 8.9 hours. Once again, it's not bad. Men aged 18 to 24 spend 10.9 hours of their week gaming, while those aged 25 to 34 spend 9.7 hours. It just sounds more like they were trying to make some digs, if I'm being honest with this. That is the only thing that I'm disappointed we don't have over in, like, England and that.
There is nothing better than LAN gaming, dude.
I know, but, like, gaming cafes. They're, like, a massive thing in Korea and that.
It's sort of they died out a long time ago for us, didn't they?
Yeah, and honestly, like, in South Korea, they have, like, massive gaming cafes built with, like, full-on
You know what? Right? It's because
systems.
we don't like each other.
Yeah.
Nobody in the UK likes each other.
As I've said
So
for many years, the reason the UK cannot legalize guns is because we already are vulgar as hell just with our speech. Knife crime's a hell of a problem. You introduce guns, half the population is gone.
I mean, if we ever need to thin the population, I mean,
Legalize it for about 2 hours, you're done.
just just don't do like a 24-hour purge. There'd be no one left.
Exactly. 2 hours, 10 bullets. Problem solved. WASDA's.
What is that in the background?
It's a gaming thing. I'm about to get into it.
Look to the left of where the person hold. Yeah.
That's a giant penis. A foam penis wearing underwear.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm now more
Is this what
baffled.
happens at gaming events these days?
Apparently so. WASDA's successful 2023 show points to a promising future for UK gaming events. I always thought this would be something nice to discuss because UK gaming events quite affect us. There's barely any out there, sadly. Apart from Insomnia. Insomnia is like the biggest. UK Gaming Conference was wrapped up at the end of March with good news. 9,000 attendees over the event's 3 days meant that attendance numbers had doubled when compared to 2022's show. 85 different games were available for people to play, with Street Fighter 6 being a huge draw for those looking to get a taste of 2023's most hotly tipped releases. Now, I should hope that they did, like, double in that time. Like, during that time, we were kind of all being a bit cautious still.
Yeah, people were still very cautious about it after everything that happened. A lot of people still didn't really want to go out to many places.
Exactly. So you'd expect that it was going to double after that year. This is not only great for people who like the idea of playing indie games in a big hall in London, but also for gaming events all over the world. Bigger events seem like risky propositions, E3's high-profile cancellation is still a recent memory. Whilst success is a cause for hope. NME spoke to David Lilly, I think that is, a co-founder of WASD, organizer Rukan Events and Content, about the challenges events have to face post-COVID, how events like this can solve the discoverability issue for indie games, and also what's next for the event, which is planned to return in 2024.
Pretty sure, as we discussed before, indie games are like sort of what come up the bigger games. You know, a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
them have a lot of them have been made in the bigger games.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've just pulled this up because if I'm gonna go into a game, and basically I can just scroll down here, and within about 15 minutes, I will find a new indie game to try or something interesting. Just quickly scroll past that section because I know there'll be something 18 plus that I shouldn't show. But there'll be something somewhere, especially if you go to like the under £7, under £4 section. You're guaranteed to find something interesting. But now, like Sunhaven here. Farming sim, pixel graphics, multiplayer, life sim. The amount of people that love games like that is insane. And it's all due to like things like Stardew Valley, etc.
Great game, by the way.
100%. Anyways,
When you just showed up what I've done in the last 200 hours as well, for me to say that I enjoyed Stardew Valley, it says a lot about the game.
oh yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to see what that guy does next because this haunted chocolate factory seems quite interesting. But as I said prior in another episode, that guy just seems to hate money.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that.
He really does. Most games would turn all these updates into fucking DLC. Not that guy, no. These free updates,
He will lead the new revolution.
fucking well. The revolution against DLC. Because, you know, back in my day, when you young whippersnappers weren't around, DLC weren't as much of a problem, you see.
DLC wasn't a thing. Because you can't just release an update that everyone can download. It's on a disc.
Oh no, DLC was a thing. Oblivion fucking horse armor is like the main thing I remember of that.
God.
Ugh. But like DLC was a thing, but it was nowhere near as prevalent, and games were about like £30. Now they're at like £60 to £70. It's like what the fuck?
And you're
What
getting
happened?
a tenth of a game that you then have to put another like £100 into to get the 6 different DLCs they'll release over the next 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. Lily seems to have a clear vision for Waz. Post-COVID, he posits. I don't know. Events are going to need to work hard to win back their audiences, but they still have important things to offer, namely ways to build and foster communities and opportunities to discover new games. Fair point. Finding games used to be really easy. Go to game, get a box, go home and play. Oh, the days.
You couldn't word it better.
The days, my friend, the days. Now there are games in so many different locations, and like music and home entertainment, discoverability is a massive problem. What better way to discover new products than to sit down and try them? Also, consumers who pay for a ticket or have their own channel tend to be the knowledgeable friend who makes a recommendation. The way to go to long-term success in game events is to focus on the experience for players rather than profit. Yes, the man gets it. Oh, it's like with most bloody things though. Focus on the user rather than the money. Building a community around your game is vital to its success, and you can certainly do that online, but seeing these friendships groups come together in person, sometimes for the first time, is something we love to facilitate at WAS. Building those communities and putting player experience first are the main reasons why WASD only lets games be shown if they have playable code, and why it puts big and small games together in the same spaces. That and the fact that this gives players the best chance at seeing the widest selection of games as possible. Rugen is a veritable supergroup of gaming event professionals and the team working together for years at Gaming Network, later ReadPop, to bring EGX. Yeah, EGX is another one, I forget about that. Resd and several other events to eager fans. Lewis says that Rupin know our audience and what what they like from an event, and suggests that branding everyone who plays games as gamers isn't right, in that the gaming audience has huge depth and variety, which the WAS team try to cater for. It's another point. A lot of people just see every single person who plays a video game as gamers. They don't realise that some people will only play X game, while other people will only play another game, and so on and so forth. Love that someone's dressed as Jacket. Principally, and this is important, seriously, we provide a joyful and safe environment for everyone to enjoy themselves. Everyone is welcome, and we ensure it's a happy and great space. The UK is well known for its game development talent, with a game market valued at £7.05 billion in 2022. Yeah, because if you didn't know, the UK actually does have quite a large video game market. You barely hear about us creating games anymore, but the gaming industry is actually quite large over here. Lewis says there is no reason that the UK's games events can't be as big as successful. Yeah. For this to happen, Lily explains everyone in the UK needs to take part. Putting yourself in front of a live audience brings hotshot young developer talent, sells product, encourages wish listing, gives you stand out through meaningful engagement. It puts them on the map. We need everyone that benefits from the UK industry to support the UK industry at all levels. The guy just bloody gets it, it seems. He's got common sense and he knows what's needed. What's next for WAS specifically? It's obvious, but COVID hit events very hard and it's taking a while to come back. We will sustainably grow our events, always with an eye on what our customers want. Who summarised everything WAS wants to be in 4 words: playable, joyful, fun, and inclusive. WAS will return in 2024.
I've never really thought about it,
Hmm?
but events are kind of like the main way that like they sort of fund these games that are being made.
Oh, yeah.
So when COVID did hit, it did kind of screw everything up, and it kind of explains why games haven't exactly been great over the last few years, or at least not very many of them anyway.
Oh, yeah. And plus, you got to think a lot of people started working from home and things, and that was a huge adjustment to kick into. There was
Yeah.
like a lot of reasons that kicked it off.
I would say we're just waiting for everyone to settle back into being back in normal working conditions. But it's not that everyone's not settled; they're just still not happy with it. They got too
Yeah.
comfortable at home. So once everyone's happy with it and satisfied, and they're all back working normal, I think events will start to kick off again.
When events start kicking back off, I reckon games might regain that sort of passion from their developers. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. You gotta see. I suppose it was hard for them to get feedback without being able to do stuff like events as well.
100%, yeah. Yes, they were flying some people out, but it's still not much in
Yeah,
comparison to what they did have.
they were very limited to what they could do.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Uh, we have a confession to make.
Oh
We're at this part. I'm sorry, Will.
Who's the we in this part? Hold on.
Yeah, I know. I fucked up.
Yeah.
The acknowledgement is there. I did make a mistake. Some keen-eyed people may have realised last week's episode was suddenly ended. Turns out, in my infinite wisdom, I accidentally put.
Accidentally, my ass.
Basically, I had to cut out a joke that Will made.
Hey, don't try and pin the blame on me.
You are part of the blame. Take it. I had to cut out this joke, anyways. So I made the intermission as I had done in earlier episodes, when I had to edit things or things like that, basically, of that nature. And when I'd gone through and edited that, and then I tried to export the video, it exported just fine. Turns out it only exported to the section where I'd made the intermission. After that point, it had gone. That was the end of it. What I was saying before I had to pause there. Basically, when I was editing the video after, due to that cut that needed to be made, it ended up just exporting the first half of the video rather than the latter half with it. So there's like over 30 minutes worth of footage that just disappeared. And I didn't realise. And after 24 hours of the video being uploaded, I delete the original copy so that I have more storage for the next week. We have come to the conclusion that is a bad idea, considering what happened. So, yeah, you lost over 30 minutes worth of us being morons and discussing modding, of all things.
Yes, and before he tries to move on from this, he's trying to blame me, but realistically, it's his fault for not double, triple, and quadruple checking that everything was uploaded correctly and as it should be.
Excuse me, I don't see you doing any of the editing or anything. Thank
Does
you.
it look like I'm capable?
I don't know, I can't see you.
Alright, wise ass. You know, fine rightly, if you left me in charge of editing, you'd get a 3-second upload.
Fuck you, I quit.
I'd be like, I fucked up the editing, I lost all the files, there's 3 seconds left, I'm uploading it, and I'm done. Goodbye.
Yeah, that'd be about right. Oh, but yeah, I know the issue now. It won't happen again. You'll find that as time goes on, I'll make some issues so pop up here and there, and I'll learn from it, and it won't happen from then on. It's a bit like that week.
He
Go
claims
on.
he'll learn from it, but he had me over once after us knowing each other for 9 years, and he's letting me come back. So he clearly doesn't learn from his mistakes.
Hey, it was great seeing you in person. What are you on about? He's as cautious as I am, you see. Anyways, well, modding. Right. So, what we were actually discussing last week, we'll kind of touch on it slightly and we'll move from there. But,
We can actually just take this through a whole different loop, Roy.
oh, go for it.
There's a way we can make this far easier on ourselves. Currently, we are both playing 7 Days to Die. We are both
We are.
playing different overhaul mod packs with different mods in it, and that could be a perfect example to show just the different possibilities of
Oh,
modding, and that's
100%.
through just one game.
100%. I mean, I've not really seen your version very much.
My version is absurd.
I'm sure it is.
You would
Mine.
die many horrible deaths in
Oh, I
Dust.
already have.
It'd be so much worse. Like you would get slaughtered.
I already have.
No, I don't think you would be able to kill a single zombie in Darkness Falls.
That's doubtable.
Hmm.
It's me. I can kill anything in some shape or form. It just depends on whether I do it in one life or 120.
Alright, now listen, that's a different story.
No, no, no. You said I wouldn't be able to kill anything.
You're not going to be able to kill anything because I'm going to spawn camp your goddamn bed with player damage and I'll just shoot you in the head every time you bloody well spawn.
So I'll just keep punching you. And eventually you'll die.
You know, because I'll stand a few feet away, so by the time you even get a chance to move, I've already shot you in the head.
Well, then I'll just Alt F4 and then at least I've killed my game. Fuck you, I win one way or another. Anyways, yeah, 7 Days to Die is what we're currently playing. We're playing one pack together, and you're playing another pack with one of your friends.
Yep.
And then you've got your own modded version that you play by yourself as well.
Yeah, basically when somehow no one is on, which actually is going to happen tomorrow, I have just the vanilla game with a bunch of mods, so it's not an overhaul.
Yep. I personally play a lot of what's called Rebirth, which is I find quite fun anyways. Only issue I find with it, as me and Will have discussed in quite a lot of detail, it updates a bit too often.
Yeah, but it's fresh out, so it's kind of understandable.
I
But
hate I hate the Rebirth dev. He's pushed out yet another update. What the hell? That man is insane.
Whereas on the other hand, with my friend, I'm playing Darkness Falls, which is probably, to be completely honest, the most popular mod for Darkness Falls. It's a complete overhaul that just adds a ton to the game and changes completely how the game is. And when you get to late game, it is far more difficult than you can imagine.
I'm just playing something that's a bit crazy. I saw some videos on it and it interested me. That's like my level with 7
Yours is
Days.
completely different.
Oh yeah.
Because yours is focused a lot around on actual NPCs, which is basically just the traders modded as like just random characters that run around fighting
Oh
zombies.
yeah.
And
It's still good
as
fun.
you put it though, it was you couldn't have said it better. It makes the game feel a lot more alive.
Yeah. As I said to you before, my biggest issue with 7 Days default was it felt like there was just you and the zombies, and that's it. And it felt quite empty to me.
Yeah.
But with other NPCs darting around, shooting zombies, and trying to survive themselves, it was just something else. And with some bandits and things like that, it's just nice to have that little extra bits.
Was a different experience. As you saw earlier, I have almost 2,000 hours in 7 days that I know. So it was nice to see.
Yeah. But what we were discussing more last week was we went onto the Nexus.
Yeah.
And that thing is.
It's like the main hub.
How can I put it? It's
Is
it's
chock
something.
full with every mod you could ever possibly want to have in your game.
Yeah, at one time of day, they never accepted like any 18 plus mods, and now all of a sudden they accept all of them, which is very concerning still. But yeah, it's got everything you could ever need or want, and for most games, if like it's not working or if there's something that needs to be fixed, like Dragon Age Origins being a good example in my opinion. If you want to play that game on controller, it does not have inbuilt controller support. You would have to download a mod from Nexus so that it would work with your controller. Which is a bit weird, but because Nexus has something called Vortex, which is a mod loader, you basically just click download, drag it in, and off you go. Problem solved. It's all done. You got nothing really to worry about in that regard. And now that they've added systems like collections, which is basically mod packs, you can just click a button and download hundreds of mods in a matter of minutes, and you got a fully modified game set up by someone else for you. And features like that just keep the longevity of a game going further and further. I mean, look at Skyrim. Why do you think it survived so long? It's just the truth of it. Skyrim survived as long as it did. Mods.
The sheer amount of mods for Skyrim is just incomprehensible. There's just too many.
Yeah, we went over it last week, so I'll just quickly cover it. But Skyrim Special Edition has over 2.4 billion downloads on Nexus in mods. So that's 2.4 billion downloads of mods for that specific game, with 60,000 mods being uploaded for it. Regular Skyrim has 69.5 thousand mods uploaded for it, with 1.9 billion downloads. And then you got Fallout 4 at 48.1 thousand uploaded mods to 1.1 billion downloaded mods.
This is absurd numbers, dude. Just even though we only talked about this last week, hearing them again is just mind blowing to me.
Yeah. But then if you go literally one after Fallout 4, the next highest is Fallout New Vegas at 29.3 thousand mods uploaded to only 436.5 million downloads. So the downloads drop off quite a bit from the two games, but Fallout 4, even though it's on creation, was more stable than Fallout New Vegas. But Fallout New Vegas, in my opinion, was the better game. I will hold
I mean,
that
just
that
those
comment.
two game franchises as well, just the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series, they were both like massively loved and just absolutely enormous
Oh yeah,
in terms of popularity. And the fact that some of their games were then being modded, just like you'll still hear people talking and playing about those games.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
just crazy to think of, considering Skyrim is now a decade old, and
yeah,
Fallout 4 I think is 8 years old. I
something
think
along
we
those
checked
lines.
it was
Yeah,
20. I think it was 2015 it came out, and they're
sounds
both
about right.
still like just. I'm pretty sure even Fallout is still getting like more and more mods uploaded, and Skyrim
Yeah,
obviously is. They don't stop with the Skyrim mods.
no. I mean, one of my favorite mod creators are the guys who make the co-op mod for Skyrim, because the stuff they're doing is just immense. Within the first day that they created Hogwarts Legacy and released it, they'd already got a beta version an alpha version ready to test, so that you could play co-op Hogwarts Legacy with your friends,
Come
which is
come to think of that, to see Hogwarts come out and see a game in this time and age not be at the very least co-op is kind of crazy to think about.
yeah, a lot of people, to be honest, though, and I know myself included, we just miss some of those experiences, where you could make a really good story and just have a really good experience with it. But one thing I will always say, any game can be made better with co-op. Just co-op.
Absolutely.
I don't care about multiplayer. Give me a story I can play with my friends co-op. Don't care about anything else.
Even if it's literally the exact same game, just there's two of you doing it,
Yeah,
it just changes everything, because there's nothing better than when you can just take the absolute piss out of everything and anything when you're playing with your friend.
exactly. You and me have been doing it for years. Yeah, do you want to take a guess at what the next game is after Fallout New Vegas on the list?
Go on.
The Elder Scrolls Oblivion,
Yeah.
with 31,000 mods uploaded and 266.5 million downloads.
How far down do you have to go before you get away from the Bethesda games?
The next game.
Oh,
The next game is Stardew
that's very
Valley.
that was very lackluster.
I know, right? The next game, Stardew Valley, at 11.5 thousand uploaded to 219.1 million downloads. And after that, it goes to Fallout 3.
You know, let me double check real quick how many hours I've played Stardew for, because in the amount of time I've played Stardew, I have actually still looked to doing it, because I end up doing the same stupid crap every time. Like I haven't even
Same.
got to the like second island. That's how bad I'm talking here. Even when me and Son played, I'm not sure if I've ever made it to the second year, because I get bored and then come back to it. When I come back, I've forgotten what
Yeah.
I've done, and I start a new one, and I've yet to touch mods with it. And in all of this that I've done, I have 165 hours. I know in retrospect that's not a lot, but for a game like Stardew, that's a decent amount.
Oh,
And
100%.
I've yet to even complete the game, let alone start with mods.
I can't for you. I mean, as weird as it is to admit, My Skyrim has less hours in it than my Rust does.
How?
Well, I've got 280.4 hours on the regular version of Skyrim, but then if you add my 113.5 hours from Special Edition, I've got more.
Hmm.
But then I spent a lot of time playing it offline as well, so
Yeah,
it's hit
I
and
spent
miss.
a lot of time playing on console because unfortunately that was my only option.
Same for a while.
So long ago that that I was playing when there was a level limit on console.
Yeah, I
Was it 81?
think it was. If
I
you
was
didn't have
trying
the
to think.
mods. The DLC, sorry.
And the augment infinium glitch existed. Oh, that was
Yep,
good.
what a time. But, like, my highest game times are Gary's mod being number one, because that's what I used to play a lot when I was younger. Warframe being number two at 519.7 hours, and Armor 3 being at 510.1 hours. And Armor 3, every time I would basically gather a group of friends, send them a message with a link to basically all the mods they needed to download, and I'd create a server. And we'd just do dumb shit. The one time I got a bloody basically a railgun, shot it at the lighthouse on one of the spawns, and just crumpled the lighthouse with one of our allies in it. He was stood at the top, and the next thing you just hear him go, ah, fuck, just fell from the top all the way to the ground. Like, yeah, you're doing well. Honestly, that game was one of the greatest purchases I ever made. But even a game like Armor, which a lot of people won't touch because they think, oh, it's just super realistic and X, Y, Z, the things you can do in it are immense. And I will never find a day where I do not love the Armor series for what there is. It's just a phenomenal game franchise. But with modding, there isn't just the Nexus to go to, is there?
Nope.
On Steam, we have this amazing little hub called the Steam Workshop.
Mm. There's some good stuff done there. I don't think it's fair to say anywhere near as much as Nexus, but there's still a lot
No,
done.
100%. I mean, when I play a game called RimWorld a fair bit, and basically it's honestly that game is just war crime simulator. No, you think I'm joking. It is a resource management sort of game, except you've got a character or a set amount of characters. You set up their world, they will be attacked. You can enslave people. You can enslave children. You can make children become minors. You can make suicide bombers, so on and so forth. The amount of war crimes you can commit is insane. Honestly, it is mad. The game will never ever. Oh, wait. Apparently, no, he's actually doing a price reduction. That's insane. But the game will never go on sale. Neither will the DLCs. But when you buy it and get into it, it is something else. But you cannot really. I've never really seen mods for it on Nexus. So you've got to go to the workshop. But the things in there are insane. I mean, they've started work on a function that will allow you to actually fly aircraft around in it. You just sort of like, why? What other war crimes do I need to commit that require me to fly? There'll be something.
I can think of some, but I don't want you to have to cut things out again and
Oh,
lose half the footage.
fuck off.
Because God forbid I'm the fault for that.
Really pushing that one, aren't you? But no, it's an amazing game, but bloody hell. The mods for it just amplify whatever it had at base by like 50. And most people won't touch it because it looks too complex, but it's one of those games, if you give a try, you just won't look back. Do you have any games like that, Will?
Hmm.
I mean, other than 7 Days. We've already covered that one.
when it comes to modding, because of how I am, I've told you before, like, so that's what you said in Mortal Kombat as well. Like, I play the vanilla version of a game quite a lot before I even consider modding it because I'm very much a simpleton like that. And
Oh,
I'd recommend that again. You know, make sure you play a game in its vanilla version first, just to see what the game itself has to offer,
oh
and
yeah.
then go to modding because you don't want to ruin your experience. Because modding as well can be an absolute pain. There is a dark side to modding, and that is when you download multiple mods and one of them crashes and you don't know which one is making it crash.
Silent.
Rory decided to drag me through a lot of that pain.
Right. I'll give context here. When I mod Skyrim, I don't mod it the usual way where you install like about 5 mods, test it. Install another 5, test it. No. I install about 100 to 200 mods, sometimes worse, and then I will try the game, and then I will struggle for hours to get it working.
Literal hours.
Then I'll eventually succeed and realize something else is bugging, and it's starting to really piss me off, and then I'll just stop playing for a while, and then when I come back to it, I'll either try and fix it, or I'll do my usual and just go, fuck this shit, wipe it, and start again.
Yeah, and he decided to drag me into his little fun club, more like. And
Hey.
we tried to play Skyrim together, and he decided to do it with an ungodly amount of mods, in which we were about 5 minutes in, and the game continuously crashed. We couldn't make it halfway from Riverwood to Whiterun without the game crashing. No matter how many mods we uninstalled or got rid of, it could not happen.
Yeah, we got there. We figured it. We did fix it.
And then it crashed again to something else.
I thought it was just a bug we were having at that point.
I'm honestly not even sure. There was that much going on. I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I do have an idea though for next time we think about trying something like that. We'll just install one of the mod packs instead.
I don't know. You've kind of given me PTSD. I don't know how I feel about
Don't bitch out on me.
that.
But yeah, I'd say modding. It's like we were discussing last week, as I mentioned then. I had a friend back in college who basically said that he doesn't like modding because he feels like it ruins what a developer intended the game to be. And
I mean, that's kind of why I said like play the vanilla version of the game first.
yeah,
You know, see what it has to offer. Like, don't go straight into modding.
no, 100%. I completed Skyrim before I ever touched modding. I completed it, I think, 3 times, 4 times before I ever touched it, and then I realised the wonders of modding, and I'll never go back. I don't care what straitjacket they put me in, I will never go back. Not happening. But I just think it adds so much more on. And Bethesda noticed this and tried to charge people for it years ago, and the community went, fuck off. And they never tried again. So yeah, that's kind of the story of Bethesda in a quick nutshell, as well. But no, unless you've got anything else to add, Will, I think that's another. I think that's us done for the week.
No, I'm happy enough for that.
Sounds good. Right then. Well, we hope you've all enjoyed, anyways, and thank you for joining us for episode 15. I don't really know what it'll be called yet, but we'll see by the end of the day because I'll probably start editing it.
We could call it the recap.
The recap. Yeah. Pandtha Talks, recapping once again.
I feel like it's gonna become a common theme.
Yeah, it really is. But no, thank you all for joining us once again. If you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a comment. If you didn't, leave a comment anyways. Let us know how we can improve. We say this each week because we really do like feedback.
Honestly, just feel free to give us your general thoughts in general.
Oh,
I don't know why I said
100%.
general twice.
Because it's just generally general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just anything that comes to mind. If you guys want to mention it, feel free.
We're happy to work on things if we get genuine feedback, 100%. But now, thank you all for joining us once again, and we will see you all next time. Bye for
See
now.
you again, guys. Bye.